In the grand tapestry of human history, there are moments that transcend mere events, becoming profound lessons etched into the very fabric of our understanding. World War II was one such epoch, a crucible that forged not only nations but also the very concept of modern warfare. And nowhere were these lessons more starkly illustrated than in the skies above a war-torn Europe, where the fate of empires often hung on the performance of a single machine and the capacity of the hands that built it. Today, I want to share a story not just of mettle and courage, but of perspective of the unseen forces that dictate outcomes and the profound truth that sometimes the greatest battles are won or lost far from the front lines in the quiet hum of factories and the relentless march of industry. It's a tale that reveals the true architects of victory and offers a powerful insight into the nature of sustained success. Imagine, if you will, the desperate chill of November 1944. The war in Europe was drawing to its brutal conclusion, yet the fight raged on with undiminished ferocity. High above, in the vast expanse of the sky, a new kind of aerial ballet was unfolding, one dominated by a revolutionary aircraft that had fundamentally altered the calculus of air power. America's P-51D Mustang. This wasn't just another fighter. It was a symbol of an industrial juggernaut, a marvel of engineering that had shattered the Luftwaffe's dominance and stretched the reach of Allied air superiority deep into the heart of Germany. With its incredible 1,200-mile round-trip range to Berlin, its unparalleled high-altitude performance, and an overwhelming production rate exceeding 400 units per month, the P-51 Mustang had become the relentless guardian of Allied bombers and the grim reaper for German pilots. Germany, once the undisputed master of the skies, found itself in a dire predicament. Its previous primary fighter, the formidable FW-190A, a terror at lower altitudes, suffered a rapid and critical performance degradation above 6,000 meters. This fatal flaw left it tragically vulnerable to the Mustangs, which routinely operated at a commanding 8,000 meters, dictating the terms of engagement with devastating effectiveness. The statistics were a chilling testament to this imbalance, a kill ratio of 12-1 against the Luftwaffe, a stark and brutal reality for the German pilots who faced these silver-winged predators day after day. In this atmosphere of escalating desperation, Germany's engineers scrambled for a response. Their answer was the FW-190D, affectionately known as the Dora, designed specifically for high-altitude combat. It was powered by the potent Jumo 213A engine, a desperate gamble to reclaim some semblance of parity. But even as the designs took shape, the specter of total war loomed large. Production of the Dora was tragically delayed by a relentless barrage of Allied bombing raids, systematically dismantling Germany's industrial heartland, and by critical shortages of vital resources. What should have been a timely countermeasure became a 2-year-long struggle against an ever-tightening noose. Into this maelstrom stepped Karl Fischer, an experienced and highly respected German test pilot. His job was to confront the unvarnished truth, to evaluate the Dora's capabilities, not with hope, but with cold, hard data. Fischer was no stranger to the enemy's prowess. Just months earlier, in February 1944, he had meticulously evaluated a captured P-51B Mustang, and even then, the writing was on the wall. He had recognized its superior advantages, a chilling premonition of the challenges to come. So, in November 1944, as the winter winds began to bite, the FW-190D, despite its advanced design and powerful engine, was regrettably inferior to the P-51D in critical metrics. The Mustang was consistently 11 miles per hour faster at combat altitude, a decisive advantage in the unforgiving skies. Its climb rate to combat altitude was a staggering 40% faster, allowing it to dictate the vertical plane of battle. And perhaps most critically, the P-51D boasted approximately 25% better energy retention, meaning it could maintain its speed and altitude through maneuvers, bleeding less energy, and always holding the upper hand. Tactically, this meant one thing: the P-51D could dictate when and where to engage, and crucially, when to disengage at will. The FW-190D, for all its desperate innovation, simply lacked the sufficient performance advantages to force the P-51 into combat on its own terms. It was a hunter being hunted, a tragic reversal of fortune. This performance gap wasn't merely a matter of one plane being slightly better than another. It was systemic. It stemmed from the P-51D's superior engine, its highly refined aerodynamics, and the luxury of unrestricted development and testing time afforded by a nation unburdened by direct attack on its industrial heartland. In stark contrast, Germany's efforts were crippled by chronic resource shortages, the relentless pressure of bombing raids, and the sheer exhaustion of a nation fighting on borrowed time. And then, there was the production disparity, a chasm so vast it dwarfed all other considerations. While the United States was churning out over 400 P-51s per month, Germany, struggling under the weight of Allied aerial supremacy, was producing around 150 FW-190s of * all variants, combined *, and that number was in steady decline. Sustained operations, the very lifeblood of air power, became an impossible dream. Karl Fischer, a man of unwavering integrity, delivered his candid report. His conclusion was unequivocal. The FW-190D-9 was insufficient against the P-51D. It was a bitter pill, a truth too harsh for a struggling nation to swallow. The High Command, fearing the devastating impact on morale, buried the report, hoping to suppress the grim reality. Yet, history, in its relentless march, would soon validate Fischer's analysis. Later, combat records confirmed his findings with brutal clarity. The FW-190D's kill-loss ratio was approximately 1:1.8 against all Allied aircraft, and a devastating 1:2.5 against the P-51 itself. The ultimate lesson from this aerial ballet of steel and courage is not just about the technical superiority of one aircraft over another. It's a profound insight into the very nature of success, whether in war, in business, or in our personal lives. The war, in its most fundamental sense, was lost not on the battlefields or in the skies, but in the factories. America's unparalleled ability to produce quality at scale, over 15,000 P-51s compared to approximately 700 FW-190Ds, was the decisive factor. It wasn't the individual excellence of each aircraft in isolation, but the sustained, overwhelming capacity to deliver that excellence day after day, year after year. This story reminds us that while individual brilliance and heroic effort are inspiring, true lasting victory often belongs to those who build robust systems, who foster unwavering support, and who possess the capacity for relentless, sustained production of quality. It teaches us that resources, planning, and the collective will to overcome obstacles, to build and rebuild, often outweigh individual genius in the long run. So, as we reflect on these powerful machines and the brave souls who flew them, let us remember that the greatest triumphs are often the result of a deeper, more profound strength, the power of an unyielding, resilient, and abundantly capable collective. That, my friends, is a lesson that resonates far beyond the battlefields of yesterday and into every challenge we face today.